go. Okay, guys, we're gonna be starting in just a minute. I just wanna put this online. Let me see. How the YouTube wants to cooperate today. It's gonna be a quick minute. If you're there, just bear with me. Okay. Let me run this here. Sup, Corey? Congratulations to Corey. He was the winner of the giveaway. Corey, I'm gonna finish that order as soon as I'm done here. So hold on, and I'll send you the confirmation number and all that good stuff. So sorry about this, guys. So YouTube should just broadcast that I'm live, but I have to do all this manual. So okay, so thank you, Corey, for joining me. And for those of you that will join as we go, this is a web page, and you can go to my website scgsports.com. Under Ravens, you can see Ravens cap and prediction. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. So the reality is, if you go to Over the Cap, and there's a link there to the Ravens Over the Cap. And by the way, if you want to join me on YouTube for the channel, Twitter, IG, or Facebook, more than welcome to join all the pages. And as I go, if you have any questions, just shoot, and we'll go through them. Damn. So in here, I already see that something happened. But anyway, I'll fix it later. So Ravens current cap number is $24.3 million. And that's awesome, right? Because usually by this time of year, we are at, I don't know, 5, 6, 10, something very small. And as I see, I try to break down as much as possible. And like I said, I'm going to fix this table because for some reason the first round tender wasn't there. So going through this, we're going to be talking about our restricted free agents and our free agents, and see how much it will cost and all that. So 24.3, and there's 6 millions as the current rookie pool that we have, right? So the picks that we have are first round pick, third round pick, 4th, 5th, and 2, 6. All those picks, because currently the NFL is so slotted. It's not like it used to be that people negotiate a contract. At this point, everybody knows what it's going to be making. They basically negotiate guaranteed money, stuff like that. But 6 million. So out of that 24.3, there's 6 million that's going to be eaten by these rookies. Now, if we gather more picks, it will be more, right? So the other important thing before we start in the numbers, let me see, because one of the guys I did put 4.449 is a first round tender. Second round tender is 3.129, and original pick 2.045 million. Why is this important? These are the guys like Michael Pierce and Peanut, and you're gonna see when we talk about them. That is the restricted free agent tender. So what does that mean, right? Let's say Pierce. The Ravens will tender him because he's a restricted free agent. So you tender him with a first round or a second round. If you tender with that, that is his salary for a year. That doesn't mean that you cannot negotiate for a new deal. That doesn't mean that you cannot extend them later. But that is their current contract for that year. Now, if a team, let's say Michael Pierce, we tender him with a first round. If, let's say, the Steelers come and they want to give a deal to Michael Pierce, there's two things. We have the ability to match that deal, and then he stays with us. Or if he leaves, we get a first round for him. Okay? And if you tag him as a first rounder, it's going to be more than if you tag it with a second rounder. In the case of Michael Pierce and Peanut, the original pick is really not a good way because they're both undrafted. So it's this Willie Snead situation that the Ravens offer Willie Snead was a restricted free agent. They offer him the money, and New Orleans didn't match, but they didn't get any pick because they didn't tender them on a first or second round pick. Hopefully that was understood. Okay, so like I said, you can go to the website. This is all public now. I just put it out there for you guys to see. So let's talk about the cap casualties and what I'm thinking is gonna happen with all that. So Joe Flacco, obviously Joe Flacco is not gonna be in this team next year. What is it gonna happen? Is he gonna get traded or cut? Well, in my opinion, he's gonna get traded for a low pick, probably like a 5th rounder. His current cap hit, as you can see there, is 26.5. There's 10.5 savings, and that number is huge. If we go post-June cut, that cap number gets split in half, so like 5.25 per year. I'm sorry, not the 10.5. Sorry, the 60 million that money. If we go post-June, if you designate Flacco as a post-June cut, that 60 mil gets split into 8 mil. So you get 8 extra mil for this year, but next year Flacco's still on the books, if that makes sense. So again, I think we're gonna trade it. I think we're gonna eat that 60 mil this year. So. But the original number, that 24.3 minus 6 is 18, right? Yeah, 18.3. That 18.3 just got a 10.5 million boost as soon as you trade him. So then Jimmy Smith, another guy that look at this cap number. That's insane. That's really high. And I was hearing the Ravens guy talk about, oh, well, Jimmy has a 15.85. That's a high salary. No, that's not his salary, guys. His base salary, I think, is 9 mil, which is high for a corner, but not atrocious. That's why you can trade him. At 15.85, you will never trade Jimmy. At 9 mil, you definitely have a chance to trade Jimmy. So that gives you a 6.35 dead money, but it gives you a 9.5 saving. Between Jimmy and Flacco, there's 20 mil saving just there between those two guys. So I think we're going to trade him. Jimmy might have a little bit more value. Would I love to keep him? Yeah, but that cap number is ridiculous. We basically have to do a whole deal with him, a new deal to keep him. Sup, Gerald? If you have any questions, if you want to chime in with opinions, just let me know. You can tell me what you think of any of these players if we're keeping them and trading them. So then we go to Crabtree. And Crabtree is a touchy subject in Baltimore because he started the year with all these drops, and then he had, it's funny because hard catches he will make and then he will drop easier catches, which I don't get, but then he got better. He did buy into Lamar. He seemed to enjoy the ride. He was there. I think we keep him. Here's the cap hit, which is high, 9.3 for the production, but so it's basically split in half. 4.67 you save, and there's that money if you cut or keep. The problem is the market for a receiver. You have Golden Tate, and then it drops. There's a lot of unproven guys that you may or may not bring in Baltimore, but the reality is, if you want to bring Chris Conley, if you want to bring White, if you want to keep Brown, all these guys are gonna look at Baltimore and say like, well, this team is really not a passing team. If those guys are looking to be like getting paid the following year, almost like what John Brown did this year, they're not gonna look to Baltimore. They're gonna look to more pass-happy offense, right? So I think it's gonna be hard this year to bring wide receivers unless we overpay them, and I don't want to overpay for none of these guys, right? So that reason, I think we keep Crafty for at least one more year. You don't want to just do a complete revamp of the wide receiving core for Lamar. He just has a little bit of chemistry with these guys. You don't want to start from scratch. That's why I think we're going to keep him. And then we go to Eric Weddle, another interesting guy, 9.25 for safety. That is high. It's not like, oh my God, we cannot pay this. This is what I would think in Jimmy. That's extreme. And I mean, this cap is normal for a quarterback. But if you trade him, guys, the team that absorbs his contract is only a $20 million hit. And that's important because that is more tradable than a 26 million cap hit, right? With Jamie the same way. That's a 9 million cap hit. So with Weddle, 9.25. Look at the savings. It's a big savings. And that money is not much. That's why Weddle was talking about, well, let's see if the team wants to bring me back. The reality is that price is going to be hard. But Harbaugh loves Weddle. He loves Weddle. So what I'm expecting is they restructure his deal. He's going to mean to his last year of the deal, they're probably going to say, hey, Weddle, can you extend us for a year? Even if you're not coming next year, we can split this cap a little bit. And then next year we take a 3 mil cap hit or whatever. Or do a deal that is highly incentivized, right? That's what I'm expecting to do. I think he's coming back. Let's talk about Tony, because a lot of Ravens fans like to bash Tony. I am a believer of Tony Jefferson. Let me start with, I think Tony Jefferson is a really good box safety, strong safety. That cap number is big. And why is it big? It's the same thing as Jimmy Smith. It's because we have restructured it for the past couple of years, in the case of Tony last year, to create money, right? Going forward, because we're going to lose the Flacco deal, we're going to be in a better situation. But this is the thing. Tony doesn't give you a lot of savings, and look at that dead money. The problem that I have is, if you trade Tony Jefferson, can you tell me, can you get a safety as good as Jefferson for 3.42 mil? Because let's say you get a box safety or strong safety that is just a little bit below Jefferson for 5 mil. You would be like, holy crap, that's a great deal. 5 million, I can buy that. If he's cheaper than Jefferson, well, the reality is it's going to cost you more, because Jefferson will be in the books, and then this 3.42 becomes 5 extra. So instead of having a 3.42 million, your delta is what? 1.58 mil. So you're going to expend more. So when you're talking about cutting players, you have to think, is my replacing going to be cheaper or better? Because if you're talking about, well, the guy's way better and it's going to cost me, the delta is going to be an extra mil, you take it. But replacing Tony Jefferson, you really think there's a strong safety out there that is going to be 3.42 million or less? I don't think so. That's why I think we keep Tony Jefferson. Brandon Carr. So Brandon Carr is the guy that never gets injured. He's solid, super solid. 7 mil. I think that's a great contract. There's 2 million on that money, 5 million savings. That's a decent saving, but the thing is, if we are going away from Jamie Smith, you want to keep Carr for the depth. If anything, for the depth. I think he will still be your starter. And this guy doesn't get injured. This guy is extra solid. So 7 mil with 5 mil savings goes again to the point that I made with Jefferson. Can you find a guy, a corner, that is comparable to Carr for 5 million or less, right? Because what's going to happen, explaining it again, 7 mil, you're going to get 2 debt money, so you have 5 million savings. So if your next corner you're waiting for Carr is 7 mil, you're in a 2 million hit or hole. So I think we keep Carr at least for an extra year. Deshaun Elliott can be better than Tony, in my opinion. Look, Corey, I'm not disagreeing with you. I love Elliott. I love him coming out of Texas. I thought he was a baller. He can find the ball. The question is, he's coming from an injury. He took a year off. He's basically a rookie. Can he adapt to the NFL? We'll see. I think if Elliott balls out, and if we happen to draft in the first round a safety, or in the second round a free safety, Weddle's replacement, right? I think Tony's gone next year. Now, if we don't, I think they're going to try to see if Elliott can fit that free safety position behind Weddle. If we bring Weddle, I think it's going to be on a rotational basis. I think they're going to say to Elliott, learn from that guy, because Weddle's smart as hell. So learn from him and apply, and there he's going to see the field. No question. Like I said, I love Elliott. I'm excited to see him playing this year, and hopefully he's healthy. So yeah, he potentially can be better than Tony. The question is he going to be strong safety or free safety? Thank for the comment, Corey. So Brandon Williams. Brandon, look at that number. That's huge, guys. I'm not defending that number. And the reason that number is huge, they have restructured this deal twice. So again, they're just pushing that cap number to the future. This is why Brandon's not getting cut. You cut him, your cap number goes down. The savings is negative 590K. So $500,000, more than $500,000 of loss. So you're not cutting him. He's producing. Next year, I don't know. We'll see. We have to see. Hold on. I can check real quick. What is oh, you know what? Just for you guys to see. This is you can hit that link there and it will just pop over the cap. So this is where I got the numbers, guys. Of all the, let's go. So let's see, Brandon Carr, like I said, humongous number, but let's go 2020. So Brandon Carr, it will be a discussion next year because there's savings at least. There's still a big debt money. The reality is what I think is Carr is Brandon Williams is here for at least 2 more years, and I think they're gonna try to sign Michael Pierce. Like I said, Michael Pierce will be this. We'll talk about that now, but they're gonna tender him, and I'm assuming they're gonna tender him with a first round, probably maybe a second. And if somebody wants it for a first round, I think they will let him go. So here's our key free agents, and we're talking about Mosley. I think Mosley resigns. This is what I'm projecting he's gonna get. 5 years, $60 million. That is a lot though. That is slightly less than Luke Kuechly right now. But I think he's all these contracts are going up, and he has been 4 Pro Bowls in 5 years. The Costa loves him. The coaching staff loves him. He's your mic guy. I think if it is more than that, I mean, that's even 12 mil. I think is a lot for a middle linebacker, but I think they're gonna pay him since we're not gonna be paying a quarterback. Suggs, I think Suggs resigns, and the only reason I have a 2-year, contract here is because, again, not to take the whole hit. It's the same reason you extend Waddle for a year and try to bring that cup number. You get Suggs and say you get 2 years, $4 million guarantee, and you put incentives to see if you can make more money. And say to Suggs, this is your goodbye tour. This is your chance for the fans to appreciate you and all that. So now going with Sedarius, this is the one that everybody wants to talk about. And I know there's comparisons out there because of what he put on IG, saying like I'm talking about like new contract. A lot of players put like $, and he checked like he was in the Under Armour Performance Center. I don't care. I mean, until somebody gets signed, I don't see Z coming in, because the problem that I had with Z, I love Z. No, don't get me wrong. 11 mil for a guy that is on a rotation, right? That's the problem. The reality is Darius Smith is a really good rotational player. He thrives in that. And in the Baltimore system, that's great because we do that a lot. We bring in and out D linemen, right? And rushers. So would I like to keep him? Yeah. You know what? If you're going to bring Clowney, I prefer Sedarius Smith. That's my opinion. So Clowney's going to command way more money. And his production is not as well as comparable to Z, but Z stays way more healthy than Jadeveon Clowney. So you're going to play Clowney 16, 17 mil for being injured. I prefer us to keep Sedarius. But my expectation is he walks away. Michael Pierce. So I put a second round tender. And the reason why is I don't see a lot of teams looking for a D tackle. And you're going to see Patrick, or you can see it here. Patrick has a first round tender getting more money. Michael Pierce is a better player and more important player than Patrick Owasu. But this draft is rich on that position. So you probably get away with getting a second round tender and nobody trying to get it, right? And if somebody gets it and tries to maybe get him a 2-year deal, 10 mil or 15 mil, the Ravens can match that, right? And you can keep him. But like I said, restricted free agents, this is the whole thing. If somebody grabs him from us, we cannot match it. And you tag it with a second round tender, you're getting a second round back. Comments, I agree. Time for C to go. Bowser or Williams needs to step up this year. I agree. This is their year. If they don't step up, I don't. Obviously, we'll see if what we do in the draft, but they need to step up. Especially Bowser for me has been so disappointing. You look at this dude coming from Houston, super athletic. You're like, holy crap, this is a guy that can play legitimate outside linebacker. He can not only rush, he's athletic enough that he can cover, right? He has been disappointing because the whole thing with Tim Williams at least was like, all he can do is rush, right? And he's shown more flashes than Bowser, but Bowser was supposed to be a more complete player, and here he is, not doing his thing. So Michael Pierce will come at 3.129. Patrick Owasu, first round tender, and this is why. This draft is not as rich a middle linebacker. So a second round pick, especially a team, let's say New England or somebody like that, might be able to eat it and pay Owasu. So I think Owasu, it's not critical, but it's important. I think if a team wants to give him the money, the Ravens might let him walk and gather the pick and say, Kenny Young, it's your time to perform, right? And he did. I think Kenny Young, as the season progressed, he got tired. The season is long for a rookie, not be able to adjust. But yeah, I put a first round tender. At a first round tender, nobody will touch him. At a second round tender, somebody might. And the question is, will the Ravens try to put a second round tender, trying to entice a team to get him and get that second round pick, right? That would be interesting to know. So anyway, the effective cap here is this. After everything I did, and you can see how I go to the numbers. 46.3 on top. Rookie cap, those are around $6 million. The new contracts, which when I'm talking about the new contracts, are the Mosley, Suggs, and Michael Pierce and Patrick and Peanut. And guys, this can be more. The reality is, what I did, and you can see what I wrote, is I said, well, what is the average year salary, right? Because in theory, they can move. The cap is a very funny number. They can make Mosley's 12 that I have here. They can make it 8, 7, 6. I mean, the problem is later they're gonna cost them more. Essentially, now I will say they should try to front load that a couple of those contracts, especially next year. But at an average, right, of a pure average, this is our cap, 60 mil, and that's great because at this point you sign the most important key free agents. You're accounting for your rookies, and you still have $6 million. So I'm going to go through some free agents that I see that potentially can come to Baltimore, or people have been talking about them coming to Baltimore. And I'll give you my opinion, what I think. So Matt Paradis. Everybody says we need a center. I have been the biggest critic of Skura. Not a fan of Skura. I don't like Skura. I think left guard or center are our weakest position, but I might be biased against Skura. I don't know. I just don't like it. So Paradis is the highest ranked center coming out, and he's a little bit higher. He has a higher grade than what Jensen had. This is basically Jensen's contract again. Would I touch Paradis? And this, it's painful for me to say it, but I won't. Paradis in the last 2 years, he's been injured. He's been injured a lot. So I don't want to bring a center that's always injured and then I have 11 million sitting on the bench. I don't want any injury prone guys. That's my opinion, but yeah. Would I love it? And he's healthy. He's a great center. So, yeah. So I agree. So if he was cheaper, but the thing is, he is the highest center that's gonna be in the market. After him, there's a drop. That's what happened with Jensen last year. He was the highest rated center. After him, there was a drop. And Jensen got the richest contract for a center. So I think Paradis is going to get something similar. So then we go to D-Law. The Markin Lawrence. Will the Cowboys let him go? Well, the reality is the Cowboys can tag him. The Cowboys are getting close to a situation. Then next year, Dak Prescott needs to get paid. C is coming up. Oh my God, the guy that got traded to them, the wide receiver. I'm blanking his name right now. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper needs to get paid. They have critical positions that need to get paid. The reality is their defense is the stronger suit. The other three guys on offense, those three are critical for that offense. That offense cannot operate without them. C is super important. Amari Cooper is critical. You saw the shift when he played, and that for me is an average quarterback that is gonna get paid almost $30 million. So that with those three contracts, would they have enough money to deal? I think if they can take a hit as on defense, so we'll see if they bring him back or not. But if it's not, this is the contract that I'm thinking he might get. 5 years, $90 million, a lot of money. My problem with D-Law, they play a 4-3 there. I don't think he can play outside linebacker. He doesn't seem to have the body to play outside linebacker or to drop in coverage. I might be wrong. And guys, if we bring D-Law, I'll be ecstatic. But I don't think he can play outside linebacker. Can he play DN on a 3-4? Right? DeMarcus Lawrence tends to rush from the outside. He does a really good job on bending the edge. Can he come to the inside, bull rush a little more, have that spin move? I don't know if he can do it on a consistent basis. That's for the Ravens to figure out if they want to bring him. But I would love him in Baltimore. 18 mil. Can we sign him? Yeah, because if we have 15, whatever it was, 15.97 and 18 mil, that's 3 mil. You can create that money up from whatever, right? So that's not a problem. So now today, everybody was talking about Le'Veon Bell. The reality is this is a contract that I can see for Le'Veon, maybe more. And I agree, Corey. The reality is Lawrence is probably getting tagged again. Lawrence said that he will hold out like Le'Veon did. I think they might look to trade him too. I don't know. Again, the problem is you have 4 big money items for the Cowboys coming all at the same time. Here's a misspell. I need to fix that. 4 guys coming at the same time, at the same moment. A lot of money. Can they bring them all? They might. But that defense is young, and they might be able to take that hit. I'm disappointed with Taco Charleston. He hasn't been producing well, which I don't care. Guys, I don't know if you know. Obviously, I hate the Steelers. Patriots, I don't want to say the word that I think about the Patriots. The Colts and the Cowboys. Those are the 4 teams that I can't stand. So, whatever. For me, hopefully they suck. Okay, so Le'Veon Bell. Everybody's talking about Le'Veon Bell because Good Morning America said Lamar Jackson and Le'Veon, that will be deadly. He can avenge against the Steelers. Le'Veon put the emoji like, oh, thinking about it, and then Lamar got excited. The reality is, it will be stupid. Hear me out. It will be stupid. Not because Le'Veon's not a good player. You're going to put 15, 16 mil on a guy that is really, really good. Tends to be problematic in the locker room, but that aside, on a position of strength, it's like you have Ronnie Stanley and Orlando Brown. And Orlando Brown performed well enough that you think he's a solid right tackle. That in the O-line, that is your position of strength, right? Because a guard you can use, a center you can use, but tackle you're pretty solid. And me saying, you know what, that tackle over there, I don't know, whoever's out there, I will pay him 60 mil. And you're like, but that means one of your tackles are going to sit down. That's your strength. And you can bring another running back this on the offseason from the draft. Late pick or early pick. But you don't have to pay that much money. So, I don't agree. If you're like Le'Veon Bell, you want him here, good for you. I just don't think that is well money spent. You can fill so many other holes. Le'Veon will give you better production than Gus. Yes. Is he a perfect fit? I don't know. Because Lamar is reading that edge. And that read option, Lamar is reading the edge and the inside. When he keeps the ball, it's because the edge collapses. Le'Veon likes to read right? And dance around that O-line. How we've been running, you need to see hole and attack. Again, I'm not saying Le'Veon is a hell of a runner, but that money can be invested in. Before I give that money to him, I'll give it to Paradis, even if he's injury prone. I don't know. That's my opinion. Let me see some comments here as I go. I want to see us draft an RB in the 3rd or 4th round, and I want to see Gus the Buzz. I agree, but not only that, Dixon was a good complementary runner with Gus Edwards. What we need is a back with better hands, and I understand Le'Veon Bell has amazing hands. Got it, but there's other guys too. Look, and I'm coming with a mock draft this weekend, and in here, guys, if you want to see, you can see the 2-0 mock draft. Let me open it here real quick. And I have us taking AJ Brown, which is fine. And if you want to see my mock 1-0, I have us taking N'Keal Harry. Oh, I went twice. Okay. The reality is, my expectation is the Ravens are going to trade back. And when they trade back, they're going to accumulate more picks. And if Jacobs is there for Alabama and they love him that much, go get him. He has great hands. He can play. But my personal opinion, you should not draft a running back until 4th, like you said. Corey, I even think 3rd might be too high. But if there's a guy that you love, sure. We in Baltimore need to have an honest discussion, and hopefully management takes this out, about Kareem Hunt. If you want to bring a free agent, bring Kareem Hunt. I'll give him a year minimal deal. I'll tell Kareem, you want to come play for a year minimal deal. If the fan doesn't embrace, you can cut him. If you put him there in the right path, that is a hell of a runner. He has good hands. And if he plays well and you want to keep him, then you pay him. If not, you let him go. If somebody signs him, you get a compensation pick for him. But Kareem will be a guy that I will target before Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell has more red flags than Kareem. I understand Kareem had that problem with the girl in the hotel. I'm not condoning domestic violence. That's what I'm saying. You put him in the right path. And you make him do PR, do some, which he's been doing, right? I just don't think he should be out of the league completely. People have done worse things and have been in the league. Again, we as a fan base, we need to have a serious discussion about this. Do we want to bring him or not? I think a low risk move is bring him into a minimum deal. And if the fan base doesn't want to embrace him, but fine, you cut him, right? You cut him, and that's it. Minimal investment, low risk, potential high reward. Yeah, Kareem Hunt is a beast, but he has that taint right now. So going now with Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas is a guy, and Joe Newell was the one that I think was Joe Newell. Shout out to Joe Newell. If you haven't checked his channel, go check out his channel. He does great videos, and he's doing currently the docuseries. He put that Ray Lewis video first and coming with more. But anyway, when me and Joe were talking about potential free agents, and I was like, Earl Thomas. Why I will love Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas will be here if Waddle's not here. And this is a big number. You get $12 million per year for Earl Thomas. Probably 2-year guaranteed. He's 30. But, and let me go up for a moment. You do it, if you cut Waddle, you have 7.5. So you really are spending $5 million more, right? That delta that you would spend if what else here? Earl Thomas is one of the few center fielders that is currently out there, and you can still bring a safety. He can learn for Earl Thomas. Again, this will be a 2 maximal. You keep him for your 3-year. If you cut Waddle and you have Earl Thomas. If you still, because everybody complains last year we didn't have a lot of turnovers, but if you still have the problem rushing the passer and you still have to play man, which leads to not having that many turnovers, but Earl's in the center field, you're gonna get more picks. You're gonna get more picks. Now you cannot have a safety calling plays. You need to let the middle linebacker mostly call plays, and if he's injured, you need to let somebody more that is more inside that box to call the plays. Earl in the center field, we will make more picks, and that will be great. So would I love Earl Thomas? Yes, but if we keep Weddle, which again I think because that's Harbaugh's boy, I don't see us bringing Irv Thomas. Shaquille Barrett, and if you're not a fan of the Broncos, or you might not hear a lot of Shaquille. Shaquille is a solid player. When he played not last year, the year before, on a full-time basis as an outside linebacker, he performed well. Obviously, Denver had the pick of Chubb. Chubb fell to them. They felt like they had to make that pick. They made that pick. Shaquille was still solid last year. This is the pick that is Z. If we don't bring Z and we still want to bring a rusher, Barrett is a guy that I think potentially we can bring. The other guy that I don't have here is D4, right? And the reason I didn't put D4 is older, and D4 is gonna command even more money. I feel like Barrett and Z are comparable. I think Barrett actually is a little bit better than Z, because I saw him the year before performing not necessarily in a rotational base. See, the times that he performs well, it's always been a rotational base. So Shaquille is a guy that I wouldn't mind. That contract is high. I would like to see more than 8 to 10. But man, rushers are gonna get paid. So let me see here some comments. Connor, what Shaq are you referring to? Oh, like Shaq Barrett, Shaquille Barrett. We need a rusher. We do need better rushers. That is our weakest position on the defense. Again, people complain that we didn't have a lot of turnovers. I put it to our secondary was spectacular, but they had to be man up. When you're manning up, you're not looking into the quarterback, right? The year before, under D coordinator Dan Pease, we play more zone, so the defense can actually see the quarterback and react. But we had to play man because you can't. The rushers were just letting the quarterback. They're having too much time in that pocket, and in zone they will pick you apart. So we were playing man up, and we weren't giving a lot of yardage. But it's hard to pick balls, and the only one patrolling that field was Weddle, but Weddle was coming from the box. Sometimes you see him in the box directing plays, and then he's trying to rush back. But at that time, you're out of position. So, yes, I agree. If we have to overpay, I'd rather draft. Yes, and a guy that might fall to us, he is a little raw, but I think he has a big potential, is Polite from Florida. He might fall to us. I like what I've seen from him. He has a knack to fight. When the quarterback is standing there ready to pass, Suggs says that he strips that ball. He has a knack for that too, Polite. So Shaquille, again, if he was between 8 and 10, I think you jump all over that. Same thing for Sedarius. I think if Sedarius has a contract floating in the 8 mils, I think that's a good contract, and you bring him back. But even with Sedarius, you need a better rusher. You need a guy that what Suggs used to be when he was young. We don't have that guy anymore. Bowser and Tim, as we spoke before, hasn't produced that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go with Golden Tate, which is another a lot of name that gets thrown out there for Baltimore. Golden Tate, 330. Sorry. I think he might get more than that. The problem is the wide receiver market is so thin this year. Golden Tate, and then there's a big drop. And the other thing is Golden Tate, as I mentioned before, we're going to have trouble bringing receivers. Telling them, come to our offense, which is what? It's more running, right? We need you to block. Well, Golden Tate ain't about that right now. He's played with high-flying offense, passing offense. There was the Lions. And then in Philly, they are a good running team, but they tend to get away from that, and that's when they start losing the Eagles. But I feel like he's going to go to an offense that's more passing. We're going to have trouble bringing wide receivers. That's why I think this year we're going to draft 2. And we drafted 2 last year, and I don't have high hopes for Jaleel Scott. I do think Lastly might be better and impactful. Another reason I think we're gonna keep Crabtree, we're gonna keep Snead. I think if they can, they might try to bring Brown, but I don't think Brown will be coming. I think Brown is probably looking for another team. If he's not getting paid, he's gonna look for another 1-year deal with, let's say, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he's losing his boy, I'm blanking on his name right now. The wide receiver that's more of deep threat. He's leaving, so John Brown's perfect for that 1-year deal, killing it, right? For them, similar to what they did in Baltimore, and with Aaron Rodgers, he might be able to get paid. Okay, so, and that's it. If you guys have any other players that you think we should target, let me know. I can add them to this list. I can put what I think contract base will be, comparing. So all these numbers, not like I just made them up. I look what is the market value for example, what Jensen got, Paredes being the first center this year, and I did the same thing for D-Law and for Arrow and all the other guys. I think that 15.97, I wouldn't be surprised that if Michael Pierce gets an actual deal this year. Instead of the 1-year tender, they get an actual deal. Yes, Cobb. Thank you, Corey. Cobb. So Cobb is a free agent. I don't know if they're going to bring him because Cobb is injury prone at his finest. So I think they might let him walk, but Brown can be a good replacement for them. I like Morse. It's all about pricing, right? I like Morse. I also like Khalil from the Panthers. I think this guy's getting 444. I think Morse is not getting too far from that. This year, I haven't seen that big gain in centers, and I think it's also, I might be biased because I like what I saw from Bozeman. I think what I would like is basically to draft a really, really solid left guard. And then you have Yonda and take Square away. Let him in the bench if you want to, and have Bozeman there. Bozeman showed me a lot, and he was the center for Bama the year before, right, in college. So, yeah, I mean, and a good deal. I think Morse is a solid center. Not as good as Paredes, but it's a solid center. To be honest, Paredes coming from an injury last year. Hopefully he wants a 1-year prove me deal because he can prove in Baltimore that he's worth more on a big running attack, and that way also for us, you can see if he can stay healthy, right? So I agree with you. The question is who. I like the guy from Cody Ford. I think he's a hell of he's a tackle, but I think he's gonna play guard. Really good, really solid lineman. And the guy from K-State that I'm blanking on his name, another guy. Corey Ford, I don't think it will fall for us. The guy from K-State might. But the problem is, a lot of teams have O-line problem, right? So a lot of teams are looking for O-linemen. I think, personally, we are going to trade back. We might not even draft in the first round. And we got to gather a second and another third. And hopefully Jensen produces a third from last year, right? From the comp pick. And then on day 2, you have a second and 3 thirds. You go ahead, you get your guard with that first second, which should be an early second. And then I think the receivers are going to fall. The only receiver that I see with like a big talent for a number 1 receiver is DK Metcalf. Problem, he stays injured too much. So I wouldn't touch him. The rest, there's a couple of them that I like. N'Keal Harry, love N'Keal. Big catching radius. AJ Brown, Harmon. Those guys might be there early in the second. So you draft your lineman, and with 3 thirds, you might just flip one of those thirds, maybe grab a 5th round, and jump and get your receiver. Now you have your left guard, you have your receiver, and see who falls. A guy that I'm not very high for early first, that he was getting a lot. I feel like on a rotational basis he can work. Sweat. Would you, maybe he's there in the second. That's a pass rusher. You may want to jump for Sweat. So that's some of the guys. Oh wow. Let me see some of the comments here. I like Risner. And he's getting a lot of hype too. Any alignment for another? I don't think. Yeah. So Risner, the so I like him a lot. That's the guy that I was talking about. The thing with Risner is, will he be there in 22? And does the Costa wants to stay at 22? And that's a big question. Because if it was Aussie was drafting, we would be, I will put money that we would be pulling back. But this is a new draft. We don't know how the Costa is. Will the Costa be even more aggressive to say, you know what, F it, let me just go to the top 15. I just need that playmaker. I don't know. For Notre Dame, this year I don't remember seeing any not first rounders, or not top of the line O-line. Last year, obviously they had the two, McClinchy and Nelson, but not this year. Yeah, so yeah, Corey, I think trade back is what I'm thinking. We trade back to get the second round. Yeah, so I agree with you. So that's what I'm thinking. Guys, what I'm thinking is we have the 22. A team like the Colts, which they're going to be a scary team next year. But a team like the Colts, they might want to jump back to the first round. Well, they had the second pick in that second round. You flip with them, you get a second, you get a third, right? So they currently have 2 seconds and a third. You flip with them, you get a second and a third. And now you have potentially 3 thirds, but at worst 2 thirds, 2 fourths, and a second. You in that early second, if your linemen and wide receivers are there, and you can push back a little bit more to gather another third, you do that. You get a second and a fourth maybe, and then you find your guard or your receiver, whoever is. I don't want to overdraft, right? I want to get value picks. So you get the guy without reaching. And then you have all these picks that you might be able to move up. If it was wide receivers that you pick early in the second, or let's say Deontay Thompson, which I like as a free safety, or Nazir is there in the early second, you go draft them, right? But you still have enough picks from this other side that you traded to move up and get your wide receiver and get your guard. Again, I think we're gonna draft 2 wide receivers. That's what I think. Wide receiver class is deep. It's just there's not that like Julio Jones. That's why if you see mock drafts, nobody's mocking very high. I think Hollywood Brown will go early because people love speed. He plays fast. He's a big home run hitter guy. And when he runs in the combine, when he runs 4.4, 4.38, people are going to love it. And that's how John Ross got to the Bengals early. That's how Tavon Austin got drafted in the top 5. And I feel like that's what Hollywood will be. And he's a good receiver. It's just he needs a super accurate quarterback. He doesn't play well contested balls. That's what I like about Enkyo. That's what I like about Harmon, A.J. Brown. The guy from Stanford, something Whiteside, I think he is. All those guys, big guys, that will help Lamar in the red zone. That's the guy you want. So let me see here. I got a feeling 3 wide receivers gonna be drafted in the top 10, 4 in the top 15. I don't think so, Connor. Remember last year, DJ got drafted number 24. And then we draft Hurst, and then the second wide receiver gets drafted. That was it. No more wide receivers until the second round. That I think it was Kirk that got drafted in the second round. I think 2 wide receivers will get drafted. There's a potential 2 in the top 5. DK will get drafted because of his potential. He's a freak physically. He's fast. He jumps. He's tall. Somebody will fall in love with him. My problem with him is not the player, it's his injury history. And when Hollywood Brown runs, somebody's gonna fall up in love with that speed, and he's gonna get drafted. Other than those two, I don't see it. The other thing is, there's 4 quarterbacks now with the potential early top 10, top 15. And in my mock draft that I'm going to be showing you guys on the weekend, hopefully this weekend I can finish it, it's going to be with trades. That will help us, right? Take all those quarterbacks early. That will push those receivers for the later round. So the problem with Ankiel that I see is, he is my favorite receiver, by the way, Ankiel Harry. His 40, I think he's gonna run like a 4.5 40, and he doesn't get a lot of separations, and I think that's gonna drop into a late first, early second. His ability, his catching rate is ridiculous. His ability to adjust to a bad pass is ridiculous, and that's gonna help him with Lamar. That I would love him here, but that's why I don't think he's gonna be a top 15. Again, Hollywood is. I think if Hollywood burns what I think he's gonna, again, the 4.4, I see him going top 15. If he doesn't, then definitely he's gonna drop, because if he's not a big receiver, he doesn't make contested catches, so he's not gonna run a fast 40. He's a second rounder. Hollywood Brown has the top to be a top 10. I agree. Again, I'm not Corey. I'm not trying to knock and kill at all. He is my favorite receiver. If the Ravens stay at 22 and they're gonna pick a receiver and all the receivers are there, I will say pick and kill. That's me. What I see on film, he is my favorite receiver. My perfect dream scenario is you trade back with the Colts or somebody that has an early second, and that bad boy is there, and you grab him. Or if he's there at 32nd, you might want to go up because San Francisco needs a receiver, and you don't want to give San Francisco the option to get him, right? If you really love NQ. I love it. I think he will be great for Lamar because he can make the contested catch. Tell me currently who is that guy in the red zone. Crabtree's not really that guy. Our tight ends, I mean, Hurst is a decent tight end. I like what I saw from him. Obviously, he didn't have the year that we wanted. And Andrews is more of a possession guy, big dude. But what Ankiel can do, he can jump, he can get the ball. So you can tell Lamar, throw it high to C number, whatever he decides to pick in the NFL. That dude, he's one-on-one. Throw it high. It's hard to defend Ankiel. I love what I've seen from him. I agree, Corey. But what I'm hoping is he drops enough that we can gather picks and we can still have it. Now, if he runs a 4.40, game over. He's a top 15. He's a top 15 because, like Metcalf, he has all the attribution. He has the production. He doesn't get injured. So, for me, then he just jumps very high. So you like Adderley? Yeah, I mean, that's a really good player. Yeah, yes, I agree. The only reason I said top 15 instead of top 10 is if you have 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10 because of people. If one team trades, a lot of people are gonna get desperate, right? 4, then you have Joey Bosa, and you have Allen from Kentucky, and Quentin Williams. That's 7. And I'm having talk about Tunsil or Johan Williams, the lineman, or White, the middle linebacker. I think there's enough player there that's going to be dropped, but definitely top 15. I agree. I like Adderley. He's a beast. He is a beast. As much as I want us to get offense in the first round. Corey. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anything on your statements, Corey. I agree with you. I think what it's gonna dictate, especially if we stay put at 22nd, the free agency would dictate you a lot of what we do. If we were able to boost Lyman on the free agent, then we don't have to worry about Lyman, right? If some people want Amos, he's a young safety, then you don't have to worry about safety. If for some reason, which I don't see it happen, we bring some receivers, you don't have to worry about receivers. How we do in free agency will affect the draft, again, especially if we stay at 22nd. We all love the best player available mentality. But the reality is, if you have a hole on a team that made the playoffs, you don't have a second round pick, and so free agency came and went, and that hole's still there, that 22nd pick is going to be a good indication of your need. It's going to be more need based. So let's see. Connor said we can trade back. We could still be there. Hopefully. That's my dream scenario. True. I mean, let me see. Joshua, welcome, man. I saw 2 mock drafts with Seattle taking a safety. Indeed. Yeah. No, yeah. Earl, and he ain't coming to Seattle. He made it clear as he was getting carted off the field. Seattle's corners are bad. Yes, Seattle's pass rushers are not great either. Seattle has a lot of holes. Seattle can go multiple. What did I give them? Let me see what I gave them in my second mock draft. I did this mock draft like a week and a half ago, so I gave them a corner. They do need corners. But again, I'm adjusting all this. The mock draft, like I said, my next mock draft, if it's not this weekend, it's gonna be early next week, and I'll make a video of it. I might do it live, and it will be with trades. And what I want to do in that video is basically go pick by pick and say, well, let's say I'm pick 15. Pick 15, Cody Ford is there, and we don't have a guard. If we want to trade us there, this is the things that we have to give, right? So you know what is the expectation. Because if it is a first, a third, and a fifth to jump from 22 to 15, you ain't gonna do that. You know the Ravens are not gonna do that. And then when it comes to our pick, if I mock it to draft it back, I'll show you what is that we're gonna get. How I'm gonna be doing it is with the Jimmy Johnson trade value table, but I also gonna check previous history. What is trades in that area roughly getting? So let me see. Corey, the only thing about Earl is that he wants to go to Dallas, and I think they want him, which, well, yeah, so I don't think they're gonna get Earl. The problem, again, we go with Dallas, is Dallas has a lot of people that they need to start paying in the next 2 years. Earl, I don't know. Their safeties are adequate in Dallas. I'm not saying great, but adequate. And Earl's going to be expensive. They might bring him, sure. But like you said, that might just drop Lawrence. And Lawrence going to get around 18 mil. And like I said, if he can play outside linebacker, bring him here. Because that is your every down outside linebacker. He's a beast. And we need a guy like that. Look, our secondary with a B pass rushing, right? I feel like the Ravens are like a CC minus team as a pass rushing. Judon, I love the guy, but he comes and goes. Suggs, obviously, at this point in his career, he has burst. Z, I love Z, but another guy that sometimes disappears from games, right? So all our pass rushers are hot and cold. Thank God for our secondary, but if our secondary can keep balling and you have a decent, like I said, like a B pass rushing, might be over, guys. I mean, now your defense is elite. I thought our defense was good. Now you have an elite defense. And to be honest, what I would prefer the Ravens to do with the cap is spend on defense, unless you can find a guard. Spend on defense draft offense. So let me see, because a couple comments went by me. Okay. So Joshua, I said that the Ravens trade back if they don't have Adderley or Metcalf available. That is dumb, though. They're dumb. I don't like Dallas. I think, yeah, second is someone's dumb. Yeah, second is not gonna be a pick for Flacco, especially now with Foles in the market. He will be the first domino because that's the guy that you don't have to give anything. He's just a free agent. Flacco will be their second domino, or Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy hurt it. If Teddy would have played well that week 17, he would have been the first guy, but he didn't. Foles is he's an average quarterback. He has that magic thing. I don't know where it comes, but whatever, he wins. I think you get for Flacco 5th round, to be honest. Now, can we maybe get a third? I think the Ravens can send Flacco in a 5th for a third. That's a decent trade, right? You get a third, you send Flacco in a 5th. I can see that happening. I would love the scenario that the Chiefs got last year, but I don't see it happen. The Chiefs got a third and Kendall Fuller, one of the Fuller brothers, for Alex Smith. That was robbery, guys. That was a hell of a trade. That was amazing by the GM and Andy Reid. Let me see here. Team had to be thinking Flacco would be cheaper. I don't know. Will Flacco be cheaper? The thing is, Sam Bradford got $20 million last year. $20 million. And he's a bum and he gets injured. And he still got $20 million. Flacco, if you trade for Flacco, his cap number is 20.5 for the team that gets him. That's not a bad cap number. Keenum got a team, another bum. I think Flacco at 20.5, which is the money that he will be owed if he gets traded. I think that is decent for him. I'm not saying he's great, but I think at the open market, that's probably his value. Denver doesn't. So if Denver wants to cut Keenum, they have the money. Let me see. I guess I have over the cap here. We can settle this quick. Again, this is based on over the cap. So Miami, which is one of the potential teams I think Joshua mentioned, they're cap strength, but they're cutting Tannehill, and that's opening 13. So potentially they can get Flacco because that will cost a net effect of $7 million. Denver, I know, has a lot of money. Who else? Jacksonville. Let me see what Jacksonville. Over the cap is so slow. Ooh, look at that red. So Jacksonville is cutting Blake Bortles. That's gonna. Damn. Yeah, Jacksonville is a bad choice. Yeah. Joshua, you're right. Jacksonville. I don't see how Jacksonville can afford Flacco. Miami can. Oh, Washington. This is. The people that are talking about Washington, and there's a lot, not only Raven fans, a lot of people, even ESPN analysts talking about Washington getting Flacco or one of these QBs. These people need to understand how the numbers work. Look at this. Alex Smith cannot be cut. $36 million if you cut him. So you already have $20 million invested in Alex Smith. 17 space, and you're telling me you're gonna be $40 million for a quarterback between, let's say, Flacco or Foles or Teddy, between them and Alex Smith? That's not happening. I think Redskins are drafting a QB because that's the only one that they can afford. You want to see Denver's Connor? I know they have a lot of money, but where's Denver? Oh, there they are. Okay. So Denver has 37 mil. They are the team that has the most money for trading. I understand they count on on the Redskins to be dumb, but there's no way the numbers work. There's one thing to be dumb, but they will have to basically cut a bunch of people and then make their team work. Will Washington do it? Yes, Washington's stupid like that. Yes, Kyler might go to DC. I don't disagree with that statement. It's not that they have a lot of money, but let me go back to Miami. It's all about the delta, right? And when I talk about the delta is Flacco's 20.5, right? So they're cutting Tannehill. Tannehill has a savings of $13 million. So if Flacco's 20.5, what Flacco's costing them after they cut Tannehill is 7.5 extra, right? So that's still under the cap, and we're not taking in consideration other cuts that they might be making. Robert Quinn is a potential cut. So Miami and Denver are probably your two likely scenarios if anybody of any of these teams to trade for them. I don't see none of the other teams doing it. Flacco's dream scenario will be going to this team, New York Giants. But the Giants have a love affair with Eli Manning. They do have a love affair with Eli Manning. So they do have a lot of cap. If they cut Manning, that's 17 in saving. Flacco will be $3 extra million. Flacco will love being in New York. He's from New Jersey. That's Flacco's dream scenario. If we can trade it to the Giants, I'm all for it. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, they love Eli too much. It's weird because he sucks. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But I don't know. I tend to think the numbers won't work. But hey, if whoever we can get a pick for, I'm all for. I want to show you guys something before I go. So if you guys can, the big thing to support my channel, I don't as you see, there's no donations there. Obviously watch, send, follow me on Twitter, hit thumbs up for my video, please. Share the video, share with others. I'm very far from getting monetized anytime soon, but this is my store, right? So if you see anything you like, go buy it. A couple people have. That's the Ravens, and that's one of the designs. The Kings of the North, and the other ones that I have is, what is it? The Lamar Jackson. Let me open that. My logo. My life, my grind. And so this is what I have. Like I said, this is one of the designs. Joe Newell has it. I use mine. There's the other one. Believe that. As you can see, that's Lamar Jackson in the Ravens, almost like a superhero. The 3 helmets from our division, bleeding. There's the same one without saying believe that, which is this one, as you can see. And then the one with my logo. By the way, congratulations to Corey. He was the winner of the giveaway. So congratulations. When we get to 300, or not 300, I'm at 160 something. When I get to 250, it's gonna be another giveaway. I'll keep doing designs like this. But if you wanna go to the store, it's teespringer.com. I think it's SCG something. SCG Sports maybe. I don't know. I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the link. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll put it there too. But like I said, there's different designs. If you have kids, it goes from toddler all the way up. Women's sizes, men's sizes. Like I said, this is the only way that I'm making a little bit of money. But yeah, the design is, as you can see, that's the latest design. I thought it was pretty cool, but hey. with white Walker. You know what? That would be cool. The one that I have is the white logo with red eyes, but you want the white logo with blue eyes. That's not bad. I can try to work on something like that. But yeah, that's how you can support the channel. But even more than that, share the channel if you can. Share the channel. That way more people can subscribe. And as I'm doing more subscription, the giveaways are random, right? Corey, I don't know Corey. The only thing I know from him is that he leaves me comments on the videos, which I love. I try to answer all the comments as they come. And he got the giveaway. And the other giveaway, this is the second one that I did. The other giveaway was another person that I don't know. So as soon as we get to 250, there will be another giveaway. So please share the channel, like it, suggest it to your other Ravens friends, and DM me when you have Twitter, IG. I have a Facebook page or my email, scg.sports. You can email me, and the page. This is the web page now, scgsports.com. As you can see, I also do Wizards and Orioles. I'm gonna be doing Orioles soon videos. But as you can see, that's the video of the giveaway. But you can contact me through here. That's what I was gonna show you. You can contact me through here, and I will try to get in touch with you guys. Feedback is always appreciated. I love getting feedback, and I try to apply any feedback that I get. So guys, this is what I have. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your day, out of your night, and talking about football. We all do. We all love. Be checking the website, and I'll put it for social media when I throw the mock draft. And like I said, I'll make a video and I'll go through picks and potential scenarios of if the Ravens trade out, because the mock will be it will be trades, but it'll be this team traded here, this are the compensation. What I want to do is a video saying like, hey, if the Ravens go and want to go up to 18, this is what they have to give. Do I see that happening? Yes or no? If they go back here, they will trade back. If they trade back, this is what they're getting. This is the potential teams that want to come in. So anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. Have a good night. Until next time, guys.